Sup, my Archfiends of Chaos? This is your Kid Roast Chaos. Back at you with another build video for Elden Ring. Since people like my build videos a whole lot, I should just make that as part of my gaming content. We're gonna go right into Middle Earth with this build. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. We're gonna the one ring to rule them all. The Dark Lord. Saroun! So, let's get started. Of course, right now I'm on pause and break when I recorded this video and stuff like that. I will say it's a mid build, just because you're gonna be carrying a heavy mace or a little bit of heavy armor. Maybe not as heavy armor, but it's a mace build, so you're gonna need a lot of strength in this. I'd suggest some dexterity as well. You know, would help with this. I'm not changing the talisman, so it's one of those things. I'm not changing my stats or talismans because I messed up my build. You want this helm? I know most people go with the Sir Gideon helm, but the Sir Gideon helm is more the Witch King. The Witch King and Saroun are two different complete people, and I figured that out. Before I was a kid, I used to think that was another former Saroun, but that is not a former Saroun. The Witch King and Saroun are two different people. The Witch King is actually a champion that Saroun handpicked, you know, in the third movie. And if you want to watch lore videos, there's lore videos on that too. Again, I just recently got back into Lord of the Rings, so that's why I'm doing this build video. So you want like kind of a horned helm, and the only thing I can think about is the helm I'm wearing right now. It's hard to find anything that's strictly good for Sauron, since Sauron's helm is way different than any kind of traditional like helm out there, even for a Nazgul. So I want something a little horny. No pun intended. I'd say probably want to use Malekith's armor, because you want black. You want to mix your black and silvers together, because for the armor, hold up. For Sauron's armor, you want to have black and silver. So And I look at the maces. You want the great mace. Now I leveled this weapon up before you use it. You're gonna learn a little bit. You're gonna understand a little bit why I say that. So but this is just me trying new builds. I don't really level up my weapons unless I primarily use them in the game, and I don't really use maces. I don't use maces, bows, or axes, so you're never going to see those high leveled up. And plus, it's hard to get smithing stones when you start a new game plus, because the dungeons get harder, so that means even like the stone dungeons that you can get the smithing bells from is going to be harder. Plus, to get the smithing bell 10, you have to fight the Godskin duo in Farum Azula, which, if you know that boss, trust me. I have a video of myself screaming my head off and cussing a whole lot and sound like I'm possessed by demons when I fought that boss. Not a good time. I don't like the Godskin duo. That's one of the worst bosses here. No, fuck that boss. Oh, you also want to, when you do spells, you want fire spells. I don't think Sauron uses really much magic, from what I understand. A Lord of the Rings fan could comment down there and tell me I'm wrong, and that's fine. I will accept that I'm wrong. But I don't think that Sauron uses any magic. But if you do, I'd go for the frenzy flame type of build. The three fingers frenzy flame build. The Lord of Chaos build. So you want everything in frenzy, and it makes sense because there's one enemy in this game which is just a frenzy flame eyeball that looks like Sauron in his eyeball form, but you can get that magic yourself without even having to be possessed by the frenzy flame. Though if you're not possessed by the three fingers, it will cause you to have madness. You will have madness build up, and that will kill you if you don't have the three fingers possessing you. So keep that in mind. But you want to have chaos fire, because it's not only chaos, but it's Sauron. If Sauron used any kind of magic, it would probably be the frenzy flame, since Sauron himself is chaos himself. He is darkness and chaos himself. So it would make sense for him to use the dark fiery spells that you have from the Frenzied Flame. And it would make sense he would use it. If he was an Elden Ring character, he would use the Frenzied Flame. It would make sense. Now we're going to go ahead and try to test this out on my boss. So there it is. I'm going to try. I'm going to just to warn you, you can't, if you're a strength and dex build, and you didn't change your stats around like I did before, and you just stayed strength and dex only, I would say go ahead with this build and power up your weapons and stuff like that. I would say go ahead and do that, but this is going to be an example why I don't think this is a good build for bosses. Maybe for PvP if you're a strength and dex build, but I don't think it's going to be a good build for any bosses. And this is going to show you why. This is my new game plus file, by the way. So yes, I am fighting General Radon, as you see. And I'm having some allies because, again, I never really tried this build out except for enemies. And I've killed some high-level enemies with it. It's good against high-level enemies, you know, if your strength and dex is high enough to use the weapons. But it's, you know, bosses I would not recommend, you know, unless you got certain bosses that's weak against strength. But if you're fighting someone like Radon, Godfried, Godric, I wouldn't go for maybe Godric if you're a high enough level and you built your build good enough, then maybe you can probably solo. You could definitely solo Renala because that's just getting close, and you know you're gonna get up close and personal with this build. Obviously, this is a build that you go up close and personal because this version of Sauron, the armored Sauron, is pretty much all brute strength, as you see in the first Lord of the Rings movie where Aragorn's, I think, grandfather or father fights Sauron in the armored form. Which I really hope for a Season 2 of Rings of Power, to see if he does get the armored form in there. But yes, I wouldn't say it's good for a boss. Maybe if you built your level enough, you didn't change your dex or strength stats, I'd go for it. But as for a boss build, probably not. I'd say this for an online fun, or to fight high-level enemies, or to get or to kill a group of enemies. Maybe if you killed a whole group of enemies, this build would actually do you really good. This is what it looks like right here. Like I said, silver horn helm, because you need something that has the creepy eyes and helm. Because about Sauron's helm, it's really creepy and spooky. In fact, I'll be real honest, it's spookier than the Witch King's helm, if you ask me, because you got the eyes, the horns, you know, looks like a metallic version of the new mushroom head mask. And it makes sense. Sauron is darkness himself. I mean, he's darkness incarnate. He's the next Morgoth. So it makes sense that his mask would be on some spooky stuff. I ran around the Volcano Manor because the Volcano Manor looks close to Mordor, so I mostly kept my videos on there. But like I said, you want to put a lot of strength and dex in this one. I wouldn't put a lot of magic in this. This is just a mixed build, so I can just do anything I want because I've already beat the game already and got all the stuff I wanted. I'm just using my new game plus file for build stuff because people love my build content. People talk about how good it is. They like my videos. I actually got a lot of views on all my build stuff. You know. But this is a strong enemy right here. And this is exactly why I'm going to show you right now. You know, why it's good against strong enemies or online players. Now, definitely I'd fight online players with this build. But I would also fight online players with the Frenzied Flame incantations too, because there's gonna be some builds that are faster. Like if someone's got a blood dex build where they have the bloody katana, if you know what you want to talk about, like the Let Me Solo Hers, you're gonna want to do more than just smash things. You're not gonna be able to just smash things. I also add some fire, but most of all, any Frenzied Flame stuff, because at least you could build their madness up all the way until they lose control. Now, granted, like I said, if you're not possessed by the three fingers, I would not do this build to complete the whole game. If you're gonna complete this whole game with this build, get possessed by the three fingers, choose the Lord of Chaos ending. Otherwise, you're gonna have a hard time casting those spells because they will build madness on your end too. It's very tricky, and it makes sense. The Frenzied Flame is pure chaos, pure destruction. It's the pure flame of destruction right there. So, just letting you know right now, it's like, you know, it's something you want to know if you're planning to beat the whole game with this build. If you're planning to beat the whole game with this build, or one of your playthroughs with this build, besides powering your mace up, get possessed by the three fingers. Get the Lord of Chaos ending. I'm telling you right now, I have overused the spells where I gave myself madness, killed myself, lost my rooms, got pissed off, threw a controller because, well, I can't level up without the rooms. Don't really matter to me because I've already beat the game once. This is really just my second playthrough. You also want to include, you know, the Ashes of War, where it powers up your, buffs up your weapon as well if you're going to use this build, because there's a lot of strength in the mace that he wields. The one thing about Saroun does, you know, has, and not just Sauron, but any of these guys, the Witch King, Sauron, and Morgoth, is their maces have a lot of blunt damage, a lot of blunt force. Getting smashed by those will crack your entire body. It's that strong. You know, they're bone shattering maces. Now I don't know if the maces are that big, but remember, we're doing this as a video game build right here. So again, I did a lot more running around and Volcano Manor because it looks just like Mordor. And if you're gonna do a build accurately, I think maybe you want to have the complete theme. So a lot of lava and, you know, dark demonic stuff would probably suit the background of, you know, Sauron. Now this is not the Halbrand build, but you could probably make your character look like Halbrand and then put the mask on. Or you could just do like this, just put the mask on and just keep the armor on and keep it going. Now, there are Ashes of War I have used into this build. Like, with this mace, I have put the Ashes of War where it's fire damage, where lava comes out of the thing, because again, you want a lot of fire magic stuff. So, for the Ashes of War, I added the lava. I don't know what Ash of War this is, but where lava comes out of the mace when you slam the ground. You want that, and then also to buff the mace as well. So this is just me using that Ash of War to show you what I've done so far. And that's it. And then there's me talking to the Witch King, or Getting Off there, but people who watch Lord of the Rings would understand why I'm talking to Getting Off there. And may the crystal be with you.